everybody. Happy New Year. I just wanted to get on here for a quick second and just wish you all a Happy New Year. And I wanted to share something with you that I hope will bless you just in the way that it's blessed me. Something that God showed me just recently, just today, while Kevin and I were talking. And I want to share that with you. It comes from Genesis, a little all over. But it's Genesis 3 in the garden when Adam and Eve sinned. And so I want to start there. It's where the serpent is talking to Eve, and I'm going to start in chapter 3. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded that thou shouldest not eat? Now, this afternoon, or this evening, Kevin and I, we were talking about we were talking with someone we met recently who was in India, and he was working with a translator, and the word he was needed to translate was vulnerable. And we were like, okay, well, what other word can we use? And the word I came up with was without defense. And then as Kevin and I were talking later, he was like, well, we were talking about this chapter and how it said the word naked. Now, we know that they were without clothes in the garden, but then it came to me, it was like, no, they were lacking. Naked, he said, who told you that you were lacking? And then it's just, the story came to life, and I just noticed something that I had never noticed before. When the devil came and he spoke to Eve, he enticed her with something that she thought she needed. He enticed her, by saying, when you take this, you'll see the good and evil. You'll be as gods. He's saying what you have is not enough. That you need something that God did not give you. And then the word naked here used also means without. That's somebody who has nothing. So when God came to them in the garden, he said, who told you? Who told you that you were naked? And for me, that was like, who told you that you were lacking something? God made them perfect, and he placed them in a perfect garden, but he still gave them the free will. And a lot of times we're drawn away from God by thinking we need something that we really don't need. When the Bible tells us that God is everything for us. He is our provider. He is our daily bread. He is everything that we will ever need. God has provided that for us. He's provided our salvation. He is Jehovah Rapha. He is Elohim. He is just everything that we need. And when we get our eyes off of him and on the things that we think we need, that is when we can make mistakes. But in that free will, He does give us free will, where we can choose whether we want to follow him or not. And that brought me to, it's in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. This is, these are the words of God. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. So God gave us the free will. He set things in order, like the law of sowing and reaping. If you do this, you will reap life. If you do this, you will reap death. Romans tells us that the wages of sin is death. God is not causing this. God has put this in motion because of the free will. He wants us to choose life. He says very clearly, choose life. Choose the things that I have for you. I am everything that you need, so choose that. We see that Eve, she chose something she thought she needed, when in reality she did not. She had everything she needed right there in the garden. So for this year, the challenge is to choose life in every step. Choose the things of God, because those things, His words, are life. Follow His words and you will have life. You will have success. Yes, you may have hard times, but you will have the peace that God gives you throughout this. I just hope that this year is a great year for everybody watching this, and I hope that God blesses it and that you step up and that you follow God the way that He wants you to. And yeah, that's it.